Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my Game Week 13 League 2 score predictions versus Cheltenham Town fan Matt MS. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 100 likes on today's video? Don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. How do you think your team will get on this midweek? Now, if we quickly have a look at how myself and Ben got on last week, as you can see, we both had a pretty steady away week. I got 7 points, he got the 5, I got another accurate score. I've done very well, again, at least one accurate score so far this season. I accurately predicted Port Vale 3, Fleetwood at Town 1, obviously the team that Ben does support. I got 4 other results right. Ben got no correct scores, but he did get 5 correct results as well. So I'm now on 61 total points, and the guests are on 53. So that gap is starting to open up a little bit. We'll start out firstly then with AFC Wimbledon versus Morecambe FC. Wimbledon currently sit 11th in the table, but they have played at least 2, and for a lot of cases, 3 games less than everybody else. Obviously, they had the problems with the pitch, so if they win their games in hand, they would actually go second or joint second at the moment, which is, big credit to them. And they have only conceded the 6 goals in their opening 9 matches so far this season. Compared to Morecambe, they're sat bottom of the table, 3 points adrift, having played a game more than 22nd place at Bromley FC. They've only won 1 of their first 12 league matches. I can only see this finishing in a 2-0 home win. Let's see what Matt thinks.
Right then, so Sam has asked me to come onto his channel and give my midweek League 2 score predictions. It's a pleasure to be on, and we're starting with AFC Wimbledon against Morecambe. It's an interesting one. Morecambe have actually got quite a bit better than what they started the season as. Of course, shambles over summer financially and bringing in 15 players in one day. Wimbledon just coming in off the back of a 1-0 loss away to a very good Notts County side. My prediction is a 2-0 win to AFC Wimbledon.
Barrow AFC versus Notts County, 2 teams you'd expect to be up there come the end of the season. It's 7th versus 4th. Barrow recently have not been on a great run of form. They've lost 4 of their last 5 matches, which is not amazing. They're really struggling at the moment under Stephen Clements. Compared to Notts County, their form's been a little bit inconsistent. They've picked up 8 points out of their last possible 15, which I wouldn't say is promotion form, but they're currently sat 4th in the table. We know they have got some key injuries at the moment. They got a big win at the weekend against AFC Wimbledon. Former Bantam Matty Platt scoring the only goal in that game. I do think this match though finishes in a 1-0 win to Barrow. Let's see if Matt agrees.
And speaking of Notts County, it's 4th versus 7th. Barrow against Notts County. Now this is an interesting one. Like I say, 4th versus 7th. Barrow have lost 2 games in a row to Accrington and Morecambe. I don't quite know how that happens. Their form has been terrible. They're only winning the last 5 coming up against we don't talk about who, okay? But yeah, they're a side who started the season really well and have dropped off massively, but they're still 7th. Notts County, of course, like I say, an incredible side, but they are away from home. I'm going for a 2-2 draw.
Matt's team at Cheltenham Town versus my team Bradford City is next for us to preview. Cheltenham, they couldn't sit down in 17th in the table. They've won 2 and lost 3 of their last 5 matches, which would say that's similar sort of form to where you would expect a team to be in 17th. They've already conceded 20 goals so far this season, but to be fair, they have also scored the 16. And my team Bradford City, we're sat up in 5th at the moment, just 3 points off top of the table. It should be 2. We were robbed in that game against Salford City, but we've won our last 3 on the spin. We've picked up 10 points out of our last possible 12 available as well. We're scoring goals. We're not really conceding many as well, and I'm hoping we can get another 3 points in this game, but I'm going to go with my reverse psychology. Normally I predict us to lose, we then go on and win the football match, but I haven't seen us lose so far this season, and every game I haven't gone to, we've lost. I'm not going tomorrow, so I'm going to predict a 2-1 to Cheltenham, unfortunately. Let's see what Matt thinks about both of our teams.
Right then, and on to the one that matters. My team Cheltenham against Sam's team Bradford. Bradford have won 3 in a row. Andy Cook's come into form. Great performance against Tranmere in their 2-0 win away from home. Graham Alexandra is cooking, and we're just not. I've got to say, our win against Colchester was massive, and I actually thought we played quite well. Can we carry it into a home game on a Tuesday night against the side who are absolutely smashing it at the moment and are 5th in the league? No. 2-0 loss. From a Cheltenham perspective, Bradford win 2-0.
Chesterfield FC versus Colchester United. Chesterfield sat up in 8th at this moment in time. They've recently started turning a couple of them draws into wins. They've won 2 and drawn 3 of their last 5 matches. They've only lost 2 games so far this season, and they've scored 22 goals. They're slowly starting to turn some of that form from the National League into League 2 form as well. Compared though to Colchester, they're really struggling, as I kind of expected. A lot of people saw Colchester being dark horses this season, but they've been terrible for the last couple of seasons. That a few good additions performance wasn't suddenly going to project them massively at the table, and I'm not the biggest fan of Danny Cowley as a manager. They've only won 2 of their first 11 matches. They've lost 2 and drawn 2 in their last 4 as well. They're really struggling for form at the moment. Chesterfield very solid at home. Will Grigg is back on fire as well, so I'm going to go with a 3-0 win to Paul Cook's side. Let's see if Matt agrees.
Chesterfield do take on Colchester at home, and Chesterfield are absolute draw merchants. They're like the Lincoln City of League 2. They love a draw. Honestly, they should be artists at this point. Colchester, of course, my team just played them and beat them away from home on Saturday. Our first away win of the season, and we've been shocking. I think it's about time that Chesterfield won a game. 1-0 win to the home side.
Doncaster Rovers versus Bromley FC. It's 2nd versus 22nd. I can only see this finishing in a very comfortable home win for Grant McCann's side. Doncaster, obviously, they've won 7 of their opening 12. They've scored 18 goals so far this season, picked up 10 points out of their last possible 12 available. Compared to Bromley, they won their first 2 matches and haven't won since. Only 2 wins in their first 11. They've conceded 16 goals. They're not losing many matches. You know, they have picked up the 4 draws so far this season, but their form since them first 2 games has been woeful. I can only see this finishing in a 3-0 home win. Let's see if Matt agrees.
Donny take on Bromley at home. Bromley, a side who of course got promoted last season. They haven't done too bad so far, but by no means they're doing well. Donny so far have been fantastic under Grant McCann. They had a massive win against Swindon on the weekend. Really good performance from the likes of Luke Molyneux, who I believe got an assist, and a last minute Joe Ironside penalty was what secured the 3 points for Doncaster Rovers. For that reason, I'm going 2-0 to Donny.
Fleetwood Town versus Crewe Alexandra. It's 12th versus 9th, but again, both sides do have games in hand on other teams around them. Fleetwood having a couple more than most as well. They've had a really positive start to the season. A disappointing defeat against Port Vale, but I don't think there's really much shame in going away to Port Vale and losing in that game, whereas before that they had picked up 8 points out of their previous 12 as well. I think they're a decent side of Fleetwood. Crewe as well, to be fair, they've had a positive start to the season, but it is just 1 win in their last 4 matches as well. They currently sit in 9th, so I'm going to go with a 2-1 home win for Charlie Adams' side. Let's see what Matt thinks.
Fleetwood take on Crewe at home, and I actually think this is probably the biggest game of midweek. It sounds silly, but genuinely these 2 sides could be threatening playoffs come the end of the season, and I actually think Fleetwood, if they pick up form, could maybe even go a step further. They lost to Port Vale 3-1 away from home on the weekend. Port Vale are a cut above this season. It's a really tight one to call. 0-0.
Before we do go any further though with today's video, don't forget to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 100 likes on today's video? That'd be massively appreciated. And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. How do you think your team will get on this midweek game week? Let's move on then to Gillingham FC versus Newport County. Gillingham have lost their last 4 straight league matches after a really good start to the season, but they do still sit up in 6th at the moment. Newport, they're a very streaky side. They win a couple, they lose a couple. They've lost their last 3 on the bounce and they've conceded 24 goals in their opening 12 matches. They've been awful away from home so far this season, so it's 2 sides on a really poor run of form, but I do think Gillingham are the stronger of the 2 going into this one. Having seen both teams play very recently against my team Bradford City, Gillingham certainly did look the better of the 2 sides, so I'm going to go with a 2-0 home win for Matt Bonner's side. I think they'll finally get back to winning ways. Let's see what Matt thinks.
Gillingham face an inconsistent Newport side at home, and Gillingham are a very similar team to Barrow in the sense that they started the season well. They're 6th in the league. They've lost 4 in a row, including to Bradford. But obviously Bradford are mustard. I'm not just saying that because Sam's invited me onto his channel, I promise. Again, it could be a weird one to call. Gillingham desperately need a win. They're on home patch. Their fans know that they need a win if they want to stay roughly where they are in the league now and maintain that for the rest of the season, if not do better. Again, it's a difficult one to call. 2-1 Gillingham for me.
Harrogate Town versus Port Vale is up next. Obviously, Port Vale sat top of the table at the moment. They've won 7 and only lost 2 of their opening 12 matches. They've picked up, I think, 13 points out of their last possible 15. Compared to Harrogate, they're currently sat in mid-table. In their opening 12 matches, they've got 4 wins, 3 draws and 5 defeats. A very mid-table form. They have picked up 5 points out of their last possible 9, and it's a game where Harrogate might get something out of, in all honesty. You know, it's a team where you would expect them to be beaten pretty comfortably by, but it's under the lights on a midweek. You know, it's not the easiest of places to go. It is Harrogate. I do think Darren Moore's side, though, will get over the line with a 2-1 away victory. Let's see if Matt agrees.
Port Vale travel to Harrogate, and I think this one's pretty clear. I mean, Port Vale are top. They're absolutely pissing it so far. Harrogate, they are 14th, but from the middle of the table, to the bottom two, there's literally about 3 points in it. It's very condensed where they are in the league. But Simon Weaver is doing an excellent job once again with Harrogate. And hopefully, you know, he can continue doing that with them. Maybe Sam won't like me saying that. But I like Simon Weaver, okay? He's a good manager. Even still, 3-0 to Port Vale, surely, right? It's a given.
MK Dons versus Accrington Stanley is up next then. MK currently sat 13th in the table, and again, under Scott Lindsay, even with the managerial change, they have been pretty inconsistent so far this season, compared to Accrington, who've been on a really good run of form recently. They had a shocking start to the season. They finally got that win, I think, against Morecambe. Now they have won 3 on the spin, beat Gillingham away last week. I can't remember who they beat yesterday. Not yesterday, because this is coming out on Monday. 2 days ago for you guys. Who did Accrington play at the weekend? It was the early kickoff against Barrow, wasn't it? Yeah, they beat Barrow. Unbelievable last couple of results for Accrington. They are on a good run of form at the moment, but with MK being at home, I'm going to back them for a 3-0 home win. Let's see if Matt agrees.
MK take on Aki at home, and I genuinely do not know how there's only 3 points separating these two sides. Accrington, poor start to the season. MK Dons, for the quality of their squad, are massively underachieving. Now, I get that they lost their manager to Carlisle. That was a massive bump in the road. But when you've got a defence that's consisting of centre-backs like Maguire, Luke Offord, etc., and then not to mention the attacking presence that they have, and just the overall quality at the club, they should be doing better. They're on home patch against the side who, in recent weeks, have actually done alright, but started the season poorly. 1-0 win for MK Dons.
Salford City versus Swindon Town is up next then. Salford sat down in 18th at the moment with only 1 win in their last 5 matches, compared to Swindon, who have also won 1 in their last 5 matches. They sit down in 21st. They've only won 2 of their opening 12 matches. They've conceded 17 goals as well. I don't see this one being the most entertaining of games for the neutral, so I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Is that the first draw I've predicted in today's video? Let's see if Matt agrees.
Salford City face Swindon at home. Again, it's a bit of a bore fest, really. However, you know, Swindon are 21st, Salford are 18th. Swindon, actually, I think, are coming in with more confidence into this game. Of course, they beat us 3-2 away from home. They were pretty poor in the second half. Maybe we should have equalised after being 3-0 down. Says a lot. They're coming off the back of course, a 2-1 loss to Doncaster, like I mentioned previously. It's a tough one to call. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Tranmere Rovers versus Grimsby Town. Tranmere finally putting a bit of a stop to their recent rot with a brilliant win against Bromley away from home at the weekend as well. They do sit down in 16th though at this moment in time, compared to Grimsby, who have been very good under David Artell, a really underrated side so far this season. They've won 6, drawn none, and lost 6 of their opening 12 matches. They've scored 16, they have also conceded the 22. They've won 3 and lost 2 in their last 5 matches. I see this one finishing as a draw, so I'm going to go 1-1. Let's see if Matt agrees.
Tranmere face Grimsby at Prenton Park. Of course, Nigel Adkins' men. Horrible start to the season. A lot of people were calling for his head already. Massive 2-1 victory away from home against Bromley over the weekend. Grimsby, very inconsistent, but above them in the league, 4 points above, somehow 6 places above. This is what I mean by when I say mid-table is very congested. League 2's crazy this year, and it's going to be close come the end of the season, but that's besides the point. Tough one to call. 1-0 Grimsby. Genuinely think that'll happen. Maybe more. Don't rate Tranmere at all this season.
Walsall FC versus Carlisle United is the final game for us to go through and predict in today's video. Walsall still sat up in 3rd. It feels crazy to see Walsall sat up in 3rd at this moment in time. I don't think anyone would have predicted Walsall to be 3rd after 11 matches. You know, if they win their game in hand, they go a point clear at the top of the table. Absolutely crazy. They have the joint best goal difference in the league. They've won 3 and drawn 1 in their last 5 matches as well, compared to Carlisle, who've had a really poor start to the season. They sit down in 23rd inside the relegation zone, 2 points from safety, no wins in their last 5, just 2 points picked up out of their last possible 15. They've conceded 24 goals as well, which is the joint worst in the division, along with Newport County, and they have only scored the 11, which is simply not good enough. Will Carlisle be able to turn it around? I think eventually so, but they're kind of clinging on for a bit of hope until January, because I've seen teams go back to back in terms of relegations from League 1 and down into the National League. I see this one finishing as a pretty comfortable 2-0 home win though for Matt Sadler's side. And for the final time in today's video, let's see what Matt thinks.
And finally, Walsall face Carlisle at the Bescot. Walsall have surprised a lot of people this season. They've scored goals for fun. They're 3rd in the league, doing really well. Carlisle have also surprised a lot of people this season, but for all the wrong reasons. Sam's going to love me saying that. Massively underachieving. The money that they've got at their disposal with the ownership, etc., is silly for where they are in the league. Still taking time to gel under new management, it's pretty obvious. They will pick up. Sam, I'm sure, is hoping they don't. But I do think Carlisle will get a goal. My prediction is a 3-1 win to Walsall. Another 3 goals, and they're going to be cooking. So that is it for all my predictions. Thank you, Sam, for having me on. Hopefully you guys will see me on this channel again soon. And yeah, I'll see you all soon.
And there we have it then. There are our Game Week 13 League 2 score predictions. A big thank you to Matt once again for coming onto the channel. I'll leave a link to his down in the description down below, so make sure to go over and subscribe to him. I should be on his channel tonight when we do a little bit of a live streaming preview for tomorrow's match. But thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 100 likes on today's video? That would be massively appreciated. And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. How do you think your team will get on this weekend? And let's hope that Bradford City can get another 3 points, because we could potentially go top of the league. We could.